movie adapted from a TV show starts us off with a small box to simulate a small screen experience before it inevitably embiggens cliche. How the f*** did Ralph get up here when everyone knows that the stairs to the top of the 20th Century Fox logo were bombed out long ago, and the elevator was destroyed during the making of Speed? This flag has 18 stars and 11 stripes, and that is not America, yo. They throw a parade for Itchy even though Scratchy's death would have been a national tragedy. But whatever. The parade is attended by exclusively mice, and so is his inauguration, except for his vice president, Hillary Clinton. Where the f*** are the other living beings on this planet?
Dad, we can't see the movie.
F*** off, Lisa. He didn't stand up in front of you. He stood up next to you. The only person who can't see is Otto, or maybe Kirk Van Houten.
I can't believe we're paying to see something we get on TV for free.
By the way, this is either the Itchy and Scratchy movie that was so successful in an earlier episode of The Simpsons, or it's the Itchy and Scratchy sequel. Whatever the case may be, Homer famously punished Bart by not letting him see the Itchy and Scratchy movie, and he didn't get to see it until he was much older and had become a Supreme Court justice. Homer even told the theater not to sell a ticket to Bart, and a sight gag showed that the notice was still in the box office years later, so that episode of television lied to me. I don't think I'll ever be able to trust TV again. Attempted murder.
We've been playing for 3.5 hours.
Green Day.
But the pollution in your lake is dissolving our barge!
Wait, just now? Thou shalt turn off thy cell phone might ultimately be the most glaringly dated joke in this entire movie. Why is Mr. Burns in church? Oh my god, that's disgusting. Maggie just pulled that cartridge out while Bart was playing the game. That could seriously damage the Game Boy.
The good Lord is telling me to confess to something.
Okay, sure, Homer would probably hope this, but this movie is still pretty casual about it. They're bringing Grandpa back with them, but it's weird. They didn't show up to church with him.
Wait a minute! I'm still in the car! Oh, right.
Wow, he was able to use his power windows without the car running. That's impressive. The Simpsons isn't 100% realistic. That might come as a shock to some of you. But Homer stabs his eyeball with the claw side of a hammer, and all it does is give him a short burst of agonizing pain. His eye isn't damaged, and the pain subsides almost immediately.
I'll teach you to laugh at something that's funny!
CinemaSins haters.
If he falls, couldn't that make your boy a paraplegic-reno?
I'm sure paraplegic people enjoy receiving the Flanders Reno treatment. Lisa strikes out at trying to raise awareness regarding the contamination of Lake Springfield. Even B-Man cares not for the environment. Que lastima!
Say global warming is a myth.
It's a myth. Further study is needed.
That's for selling out your beliefs.
Nelson would be violently good at CinemaSins.
Are you aware that a leaky faucet can waste over...
Wow, two activists going door to door about different environmental issues in the same neighborhood, and one just happens to be a brand new character never before seen in Springfield? That's impossible! Here's the problem with the Lisa falls in love with an environmentalist boy storyline. You already did it in the show with Joshua Jackson and the huge tree, remember?
Oh, thanks for coming over.
Thanks for giving me your pregnancy pants. Never known comfort like this.
I guess when a series has been going on for 20 years and it takes that long to make a movie, this is the type of gag you get. Luckily, The Simpsons gracefully bowed out shortly after this movie, and holy f***, it's still in the air?
Naked.
Daring your elementary school-age child to streak. What the actual
I like men now.
I don't know, but I feel like this movie is maybe at least 5% homophobic, or at least intentionally ignorant about LGBTQ issues. Okay, that's a funny gag, especially since the movie did the usual fun with blocking the nudity, but why do we see something there now? At the very beginning of this skateboard ride, we should have seen something dangling. Pulling out a gun for this reason. Humans don't stick to glass like those rubber octopus crawler things from the 80s. Humans are not adhesive.
Bountiful penis.
Bountiful penis is A, a colloquial name for an orgy with more than 2-to-1 male to female ratio, B, an actual prayer I used to pray to try and make my larger, C, a spicy Albanian cola drink, or D, the shooting title for Boogie Nights. They pop Bart off the Krusty Burger and then the cops go to the other Krusty Burger next door? So Nelson laughs at Bart long enough for the day to go from around noon to almost dusk, and when Homer shows up, the cops are still at the Krusty Burger? They went in there for lunch.
Okay, son, let's get some lunch.
Can't possibly be lunch anymore. Bart's been here so long the sun went down. Holy f***ing Ned's still there? How long does it take for each of you to eat one burger and share a thing of fries? Why are the fries at 3 times the volume they were when the Flanders sat down? And even if this is some Red Robin French fry refill they wouldn't fill it 3 times as high on a refill. Let's add Homer's uvula cam to the list of things I never asked to see and might consider suing about. Why are these dickheads shooting a commercial in the middle of a Krusty Burger if they're not shooting the actual interior of the Krusty Burger? I know you want to somehow give Homer a pet pig, but why can't they shoot that in the studio?
If you can find a greasier sandwich, you're in Mexico.
That's racist.
You can't kill him if he's wearing people clothes.
He's wearing a people hat, not people clothes. What fridge word magnet package has 2 horribles in it, or 2 EE and 2 PAs, neither of which are even words?
Look, he does an impression of you.
Animal abuse. Why is the fish still electrified after Homer takes it out of the water?
How about I fix you some cocoa?
No way. Cocoa's for wusses.
Well, sir, if you change your mind, it's on the windowsill.
But you just asked him if he wanted you to make some cocoa for him. How do you already have cocoa prepared? And why can you make cocoa in your bedroom? Marge puts her dirty-ass gloved hand on her daughter's bare shoulder.
How did the pig tracks get on the ceiling?
Spider Pig, Spider Pig.
How did she not hear this or see this before now, though? I should remove a sin for this flop sweat gag, but instead I'm going to give the movie a sin because all these people are polluting the water at the exact same time that Lisa just happens to be there to witness it. Also, human sweat is mostly made up of water. It's almost all water, a little bit of ammonia and tiny bits of salt. I don't think this would pollute the lake, is my point.
We are at the tipping point, people.
Lisa couldn't get one asshole to respond to her door-to-door campaign and in fact made people go out of their way to avoid her, but she was able to get everybody in Springfield to a town hall meeting about the same topic? Is that kid playing a f***ing dobro? This movie had a huge budget and made The Simpsons look glossy as shit, but still cheaped out on the newspaper articles with squiggly lines.
And by the way, what are you doing with his leavings?
How the f*** did Marge not know about the giant silo crammed with pig crap out in the backyard? Also, he has a giant metal silo for pig crap, but there's no sign of how he gets the pig crap into the silo. This is Homer, so we know he didn't do plumbing to run lines out here. How does it work? Honestly, I feel like Springfield is even lucky to have a hazardous waste treatment center in town, but it seems way too busy if you ask me. Busy enough to be suspect.
The health inspector just shut down the donut store and they're giving out free donuts.
That is not how it works when the health inspector shuts down a restaurant. She doesn't walk in and say, gee, I see so many violations that people could get sick from this product. Let's close the store, but give away all the already made and probably contaminated product to people on the street for free. And maybe that's the joke, and yeah, Homer would still eat contaminated donuts, but Jesus, find a better reason to get Homer out of line at the waste place. This might be the point, but this many no dumping signs, in and of itself, constitutes pollution. Okay, I know he drove through the wall to create this one gap, but why is there no wall to the immediate left of that? Hilarious, but why would the eye scanner have any information on the Thousand-Eyed Squirrel? Oh yeah, sure, like the guy who hosted The Apprentice is ever going to be president.
I pick number 3.
You don't even want to read them first?
Presidenting. One sent off for one of the best Simpsons gags ever, not just in this movie. That's a lot of helicopters, but they are using suction cups, so this would never work. Also, where do you build a dome that big without it becoming news? And how do you fly it anywhere using 500 helicopters without that becoming news? You can't sneak like this up on people. How is it that all these places are on the edge of the dome when it is clearly covering all of Springfield? I mean, the school is somehow on the border, and so is the Simpsons home. Does not compute. Also, isn't it weird that Martin and the others were on the playground at school and none of the Simpsons kids are there? We all know Lisa would go even if she was told not to go. She's rebellious that way. Where is Projector?
Coming up on your right, nothing.
Right, when GPS updates its maps that fast, you let me know. Yesterday, mine told me to drive through a cow field to get to my destination. For the sake of this story, this is the most convenient sinkhole wormhole ever. The pig crab silo is definitely traceable to Homer. What doesn't compute, however, is how they would be able to determine that this was the final piece of pollution that got the town domed. They didn't carbon date that so how do they know this wasn't part of the pollution before the mayor's order? These angry citizens have overtorched the out of this situation. Literally every house on this street would catch on fire.
Afraid if I open the door, they'll take all of you.
No, we won't. We just want Homer.
Man, this angry mob's hearing, at a distance, through a second floor window, has been amazing in this scene. Okay, 2 things here. First, never with Maggie. Second, why is Marge still using a dangerous glass bottle for Maggie instead of the much more modern plastic, neoprene, etc.? Was it just to make the bottle smashing joke? Because I think it was. What the hell is keeping the end of this board sturdy in the Simpsons house? And how does it not break with Homer and all the family on it?
Archers!
Bloodthirsty mob uses child labor. Also, they just said they only wanted Homer. Now they're firing at all of them. They all survived this without injury. Thankfully for the plot, they carry the car to the Simpsons' own backyard to, holy Christ, they are planning to hang them? This is the darkest shit I ever saw. And just as our heroes escape, the sinkhole collapses. This is the Simpsons movie, but it could easily have been called the Conveniences movie. You, the Simpsons don't have a car alarm on their beater.
What do we do?
Now we run.
I'm honestly surprised Homer's family goes with him. None of them deserve the hate, and they have to be upset at him for dumping sewage in the lake after the ban on dumping sewage in the lake, right?
What's the secret knock again?
Who opened the f***ing door, though?
Marge, in every marriage you get one chance to say, I need you to do this with me.
This is false. Homer's going to win the family a truck by driving this motorcycle in the ball of death, but what suddenly made them want to go to a carnival when they're on the run from the EPA and made a plan to go to Alaska?
That counts as a try.
F***ing carnies, man.
Oh, man, my wives are gonna kill me.
Is this a polygamy joke or a conjoined twins joke? Or both? Either way, I'm not super comfortable with it.
Day 37 under the dome.
How does Mo still have any alcohol left after 37 days when nobody can go in or out of the dome? Also, I'm not sure I heard a plan to deliver supplies. So aside from trapping everyone in the dome, is the EPA hoping to starve everybody to death?
We are facing intermittent power failures, which...
Everything in this movie happens with the most pristine comedic timing. Okay, the cops responded faster than it took for the Simpsons to fill up the tank. Also, the cops would not arrest people based on a wanted poster they found in a gas station. They have the original wanted posters and would know the gas station one was tampered with.
I have 2 buttons behind this desk. One will supply your town with power. The other releases the hounds.
You're going to program buttons into your desk, and these are the 2 options you give yourself? Also, blackmail. They all survived this. This family is indestructible.
We pay every resident $1,000 to allow the oil companies to ravage our state's natural beauty.
How the does he know that the Simpsons are going to be residents? Or that they're even new residents? Who makes a custom mailbox in the first week at a new house?
Just passing the time.
Passing the time by causing ecosystem-altering events. These asshole animals broke into the cabin expressly to help Homer and Marge have sex. And now that they're seeing it happen, they recoil? You knew what you were getting into when you started this.
Okay, let's discuss Tuesdays with Maury.
Again!
How did you not know that was the book you were going to discuss before you came to the book club today? You're even holding a copy of that book, correct? This camera is inside the dome. How did the EPA get that inside before they dropped the dome over Springfield? Did they send a bunch of people there to rig a Truman Show number of cameras for dome surveillance? God, the Simpsons fudge text whenever they can, and that's a sin.
Don't worry, I have a solution for you, sir. In fact, I have 5 solutions.
I picked 3.
Try again.
1.
Go higher.
If you wanted him to choose blow up Springfield, why didn't you make it option 3, which he chose impulsively before, or option 1, which comes first in line?
That's where Springfield is.
It's nowhere near where anything is or ever was.
I love this Tom Hanks bit. Gold.
At 4 in the afternoon!
It was 7 at night.
It was during Access Hollywood.
Which is on at 4 and 7.
The mob clearly attacked during the local news, and not during Access Hollywood. After Kent Brockman encouraged the angry mob, they were there in seconds. Grand Theft Walrus might be the laziest joke in this entire movie. When did Marge get her hands on a video camera? They didn't have any possessions when they moved to Alaska. Also, how did they even get this house in the first place? They had no money except for the $1,000 the guy who welcomed them to Alaska gave them. And since they're wanted by the government, they definitely didn't use their savings. This movie is full of lazy imagery, like the heart ice chunk that immediately breaks down the middle just after Homer's heart is broken. We get it! You can draw things to match the things!
I'm the mascot of an evil corporation.
Haha, joke's on you. You're now owned by that evil corporation.
Oh, do whatever you want to me. I don't care about myself anymore.
Because?
Because other people are just as important as me.
How did you get that epiphany? You didn't care about yourself anymore because you thought your severed body parts were melting. Why did that make you think of others? I agree, let's get on with it, but your epiphany is not earned. Man, these ants weren't helpful at all. In fact, they're f***ing up a good ayahuasca trip.
Thank you, boob lady.
That's boobist.
Rest! Rest!
Sure, Homer's going to try and save Springfield because he's not selfish now or something, but I guess he's still a f***ing asshole.
But which way do I go?
Booble maps. Functional pretend binoculars. Haha, he's stuck between a rock and a hard place, but why would you put a place of business out here with no way to get to it? A hard place shouldn't even be able to pay their electric bills. Their location is so terrible. If you could have gassed them all along to subdue them, why did you wait until just now to do it?
It says to release this town immediately.
Why is it written on a leaf?
A few minutes ago, Homer kept trying to stop the EPA guys with fake traffic signs, and he couldn't even spell stop. And apparently he couldn't spell yield or wrong way either. But he can spell release this town immediately? No problem, not to mention his to-do list. They think if the image of the EPA guy looks to the left, that no EPA people or devices will see them climbing the bomb rope. And they're right! Why would EPA cameras be trained to only look at what the boss on screen is looking at?
But how am I supposed to get up there?
Luckily, when I was escaping Springfield and planned for the whole family to move to Alaska, I stopped at that carnival to do some daredevil motorcycle riding. Also, this is literally God pointing to a machine, and I think it qualifies for a Deus Ex Machina, even though the literal meaning is more like a Deus Indicat Machina.
First one stop.
How did Homer know Bart went to the church? Probably goes without saying, but this bomb's timer clock is total bullshit. You, science! During Homer's attempt to once again jump Springfield Gorge, I've got to hand it to the filmmakers for remembering the ambulance that crashed in that episode. It's a pretty sweet detail. even if it's fan service. And millions of tiny shards of glass rain down on Springfield, causing untold injuries and illnesses over the coming decades.
Colin!
I sure am glad Colin's still alive. I can't wait to see his many adventures in future seasons after this movie is over. Celebrating a hero when he was the villain in the first place.
Oh my god, her first word! Sequel?
These assholes made Maggie's first word sequel. Do you hear the ding in your head when you watch movies? I hear it all the damn time, especially around the holidays, and I'm done hiding my damn dings. I'm gonna wear them proudly, like a goddamn YouTube Grinch. If you want to do the same, you can grab this limited edition monstrosity from our store. Merry Dingmas, everyone.
Baran you! Baran you!
You smiled, I'm off the hook.
She was smiling at how money I was.
Even as we grasp at victory, there is a cancer, an evil tumor, growing, spreading in our midst.
Stephanie. Ooh, a vortex.
Sir, I'm afraid you've gone mad with power.
He's gone mad with power, like that Albert Schweitzer guy.
We need diapers.
I'll be taking these Huggies and whatever cash you got.
I'm happy here. Screw Springfield.
Canada.
Why are you dressed like that?
I'm R-rated sexy.
Class? Who gives a shit about class?